Don't mess it up. Okay, look, send it a good Reiki to you. Come on, baby. Oh, you can do it. Ah, we can. Ah, I think we are. Yeah, you see it? Yeah. How come I don't see her? Can I lower this? Hold on.
Yeah, it has us, but I don't see her.
Hold on.
Okay, no problem. You got it.
Difficulties. This is my life right now. There we go. Okay, so you can't see her. Oh, you didn't see her because she wasn't talking. Talk, Mary.
Okay, I'm talking. All right.
Okay, there we go.
Working now?
Okay. All right. Perfect. Woo! Welcome, everybody. Sorry, we were just having technical difficulties from a whole nother world messing with Zoom. But God is great, and that's why he allowed us to be here today. Amen.
Amen.
Woo! All right. That was some. Thank you, Google. Okay, so we are happy to be back. This is our first official show since the whole COVID situation. Can they see you enough? Still trying to respect the 6 feet, you guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Might be, but we okay. So today we have a special guest, everybody. Welcome, Mary Payton.
Thank you.
Let me start sharing. So we can get people on. Now, Mary, before we get into you, because we want to get some people in here so they can.
Okay, sounds good.
Questions. And missed you guys so much.
Aw.
We hope everyone is well and safe.
And keeping a mask on.
Yes, because it's getting crazy out there again, you guys. So please protect yourselves and your loved ones. Just give me a second. I'm just sharing to like all 8 million of my pages. I still gotta like bring it back.
But since we've been gone, y'all remember me. I am Sheena Gadine. I am the owner of Sheena Unmasked and Motivation. It's been so long since I've been talking to somebody. Oh my God, I get to talk to humans. How y'all doing? You know, greetings as always. Sending blessings and love to everybody. Nothing really new besides I'm working on book 2 since we've been gone, taking care of kids. And ready that it is hot and nice outside.
Yeah. Okay. I think I am all shared. Out. All right. All right. So welcome, Mary Payton. Okay. I'm gonna let you take your platform and then we'll go from there. We were a little rusty, so we got to get back in the swing of it. But we are happy to have you here. And thank you for being patient with us and helping us try to figure out this whole Zoom thing.
It's not easy.
And no, not at all. But we definitely appreciate you. Okay, so tell us a little bit about yourself, Mary. What is it that you do and where are you from? And
Okay, so I am an Inca trained shaman, also a medium and a Usui Reiki master. So I blend all of those things together. So people come to me for healing appointments for a lot of things, actually. Healing appointments. I've changed the way that I do my healing appointments. So people used to be able to come to me and say, I'd like a soul retrieval. And if you're familiar with shamanism at all, you'd know a soul retrieval is when a part of us, a part of our soul basically, leaves our body and is no longer a part of us, so we don't feel whole. And it can be things like you feel very tired all of the time. And the thing with soul retrievals are that it is through a traumatic experience usually, and a lot of it's in childhood. And you have to remember, you got to think with child brain, like for us, you know, if mom dropped a pot and it startled us, that could cause a soul retrieval. So a lot of times it's not anything really as bad as we all think that it is. The other thing I do if you come for a personal healing, is we can go to the upper world and we can retrieve why you came to this life, so we can find your soul purpose and help you along that path. I work a lot with death and dying. Sometimes people come to me and maybe they're tired of life, or there's a reason that spirit will direct me to send them to the other side for healing of any kind and then bring them back. So a lot of things can happen. There's
That's so
Reiki,
cool.
there's mediumistic things that go on,
Yeah.
spirit animals, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, that is so cool. So for those of us that don't know, what is a shaman?
Yes,
Can you explain to us what is a shaman?
I absolutely can. So shamans work with spirit just like mediums do. We work with a lot of the natural resources, though. We work with the animals, the trees, with nature, and is really just getting back to basics. It's tough in our Western society because stress is a big deal for us. And shamans know that what happens when we get stressed out is it triggers our fight or flight system. And we can't live with our fight or flight system turned on all of the time. So if you think about, if you ever see a wild animal, they hear you, so they get scared, they jump, but then once they calm down, they start eating again. So that's how we should be. Yes, you get startled, but we should be able to go back to that peace and calm. In our society, we don't. So we stay in that fight or flight all of the time, which wears on our body terrible, wears on our organs, wears on our systems, that's the other exhaustion. I mean, it takes a lot out of you. And as shamans, we believe too that some of that brings disease if it stays too long. We believe this is where our cancers come from. This is where all our heart disease, because years and years ago, those things didn't exist.
Yep, that is so true. That is something I learned in medical intuition.
Right.
Yep. And where you hold stuff in and how it can build, all that stuff. And actually where we learned, they call it soul retrieval.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So we learned something like that in medical intuitive class, where we bring our client back to the past or to the past lives.
Past lives, same thing. Yep. Absolutely.
And we bring them back there to heal from anything that they could have brought in to this life with them. And it's insane. Like, I had a client and I brought her back, and she literally was like, she wasn't a soldier. They like when I talk about him. She was she was like a warrior or something.
In her past life.
Yeah, in her past life. But the soldier was choking her because she was like, I can't understand why I have this neck pain. And so as I was doing Reiki to her, it was one of my Reiki clients, I started connecting and asking, and they were like, oh, and then I seen like this red, white, and blue, you know what I mean? And but I was like getting like England, you know what I'm saying, type of thing.
Right.
She was like, that's crazy, because somebody else told me that. But anyway, so I had her just remove his hands from her neck and give her right back to him and send him on his way. And she's been fine since then. But it's amazing. So soul retrieval is kind of like the same thing. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, absolutely it is. Yep.
That's cool.
Yep. So we also we do a lot of clearing and resetting of energy. We work too with the chakra system, like a lot of the healing modalities, and we believe that the chakras get full of sludge just from everyday life. So one of the big things we do is clear those out, and we put some light in, and people get from that what we call a rainbow body, which is what we all aspire to, because then our chakras they're not slow, they're moving at the right speed, there's nothing in there, and it's just, you feel light and motivated, full of life.
I haven't done Reiki on you yet, have
No.
I got to.
Oh,
I know, but maybe one of these sessions, one of our shows, we'll do a live Reiki session. But yeah, Reiki is amazing. It is.
fantastic.
Yeah. And
Great.
that the whole clearing of the chakras, once
Yep.
you
Same thing.
feel the difference, like you'll feel lighter because you won't feel all that heaviness that was clogged up in your chakras. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? It's insane.
People don't realize it. They don't realize how it weighs them down. They
Until
don't.
after they have the Reiki, they're like, oh my
Yes.
gosh. You know
Yep.
what I mean? And you might not even feel it right then and there after the session, but give yourself a few days, you're gonna be like, wow, I feel so much better. Like just mentally, emotionally, you know what I'm saying? Even
Just all the different
physically,
things.
because it's great for pain
Yes.
too.
Yeah.
Not that we're doctors, but it does help with pain.
Because a lot
Yep,
of the
absolutely.
all that stuff that you got trapped in. Like
Exactly.
kind of how
Yes.
taking off the mask.
Yes.
Kind of almost the same thing.
Exactly.
Yep.
What is a spiritual animal?
So shamans, we work a lot with the animal kingdom, all of nature, but I do message circles and I will be able to pull in spirits, but also sometimes people get spirit animals. So we have each one of us, and it's similar to angels. It's similar to all of the healing modalities. We have spirit animals that work with us. They could be working with us for a situation. They could be with us for a lifetime. And as shamans, we have spirit animals that are our guides that we use. Like for me, one of my guides is a jaguar. And in my modality, the shaman is the king of the jungle because he has no predators other than human beings. So he is up to mulches things away. So when I'm emptying out people's chakras, he would be the mulcher of those things. And he's also a good protector and a good mulcher of fear. So if you're going into a situation where you have a little fear, we call on jaguars. So it would be similar to calling on your angels. We call on our power animals. And I give people animals a lot of times in my circles. And it's funny because the animals will reflect a situation that's going on in their lives. And what the animals are asking them to do is to take on some of the attributes that the animal has to help them in the circumstance and help them through.
That is so true because before I started my journey a couple years ago, I started having like all these dreams with like animals. And I'm like, what is this, all this? You know what I'm saying? And so me, Google, of course.
Right.
Google,
That's a good way to
please.
do it.
Yeah, seriously, what does a dream with so-and-so, because first it was like the fishes, but then I started realizing fishes, okay, somebody's pregnant. This is when I was younger, you know what I mean?
Yep.
But then it was like with dolphins, because dolphins one of my my spirit animals, and the orcas, they're another one, and then my hawk, is another one. But so I started realizing, and then I would just read upon what they mean, you know what I mean? And I'm like, and it would literally describe like what I'm going through in life, like, you know what I mean? And it's so crazy. But I was like, so now every day, every time I have a dream, I'm like, okay, what does this one mean? What does that one mean? Or it gives you like a warning. Like
yes.
Recently, I can ask you. You're the
Yes.
probably perfect. It was so weird. It was like I was looking in, and I know why I was looking in this pool because we was at my girlfriend's house and she had like a pool.
Mhm.
So I remember looking in, and I remember seeing like a koi fish is another one of mine, but I think it was a koi fish. And then I see this huge white thing starting appearing, and it comes up, and it's this big white Bengal tiger, just boom, like right in the thing. But I got scared, but it didn't look like it was gonna attack me. It was just like right in my face. And I ended up running, and I remember running and closing the door, but then that was it. But I'm like, wow, it was just like so huge, and it was just like his face.
Right.
And I looked it up, and I know it said some things, and I'm like, oh, okay.
So here's how I teach people to look at, you have to look at your reaction to and what the animal is doing. So whatever that animal was doing caused you just to go into fear.
Yeah.
So to me, that tells me that the tiger is saying to you, you need to face your fear of something.
Yeah.
So that's how we work with animals. And also, if you see them in wildlife, or for us, if you see a statue of them, or you hear them, like I hear owls everywhere, and owls are one of my big spirit animals. I heard it right before we came on. So that's also the animal calling to you. Deer are a huge one. So deer's message, and I see deer a lot because I need to see deer a lot. Deer's message is be gentle with yourself. So every time you see a deer, you think, wait a minute, what's going on? What's my self-talk? What am I saying to myself?
Exactly. Yep. yeah, those are, do you ever have dreams with animals and
I
stuff?
had, yeah, I
Well,
do
now
say
you
things,
know.
I Google.
Mhm. Oh, okay.
Good.
Yeah,
And
it's
we trying to
crazy,
figure it
right?
out. Yeah, it is.
It is. And I was like, all these animals. And I had like the weirdest animals come to me. Like I remember one day it was armadillos.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
What does
And
armadillo have around it, Jess?
yep. And
Armor?
I can't remember. It was a shell, it was hard, and it was crossing the street. It was weird. But yeah, the weirdest animals come to me. I'm like, okay, come on, and I'll take you guys all. You guys got messages
Come on,
that I
let's
need
go.
to hear. Bring them
Yes,
on.
absolutely. Yes, there's
That's
no
what it is.
accidents.
You're
Yes.
telling me something that either A, I don't want to hear it for myself, or B, you're letting me know something that I need to know.
Right, exactly right. Yes.
So how did you become interested in becoming a shaman? Like what drew you that way?
I love telling people this story because a lot of times when you meet people and they're new on their spiritual journey, they say, what should I do? Well, how will I know? What modality should I be involved in? And I was studying with a medium, and she brought in a woman who she's no longer with us. She was an OB-GYN in Vermont, and we did a shamanic weekend, and it was the wildest thing I've been involved in. I mean, it was crazy. This woman came in, and this is funny because a lot of people will meet me and be like, so you're not like, you don't have animal skins on, you don't have feathers. Right, that's what their expectation is of shaman. They're like, you're not normal. So Carol was very much that. And she brought people with her that weekend. We were meditating, and a woman started cawing like a crow, and we were all like, what is
Oh
happening?
my gosh, that's crazy.
It was wild. But at the end of the weekend, I knew that there was something to it. So I started looking into shamanism. And what's funny is she had been taught by a shaman named Sandra Ingerman, who's an excellent shaman. But at the time when I started reading Sandra's books, I swear to you that when I read about the underworld, Sandra said that she was being chased something. And I remember closing her book going, not just now. Hell no, I am not getting chased by anything.
At all. I'm good.
So I kept looking, and I found, no, that's not my idea. So I found Alberto Veloto, who had a school in Utah at the time, and I really resonated with what Alberto taught. But still, I will tell you that I was going on a Sunday, and the Thursday before, we were all sitting in circle. The woman running the circle came to me. I had told no one that I made my mind up I was not going because I was scared. I'm like, I'm not going. No way. So she comes to me and she says, there's a man standing behind you, and he's bare chested, and he's got a necklace on, and it's got pottery beads. And she said, he took it off and he put it around you. And then she says, he just told me you're not going on Sunday. And I had told no one.
Oh my gosh.
And then so I decided to go. I get there, I'm texting all my girlfriends, I'm coming home. I knew this was a bad idea because Jesus Christ walked in the room, this guy with these big white robes. I'm like, this is so not for me. And a woman in the school, she must have seen me freaking out. And she came over and she was like, just stick it out, I promise, you'll love it. And it really was great. So now I go back one day and read Sandra's books, and I cannot find where anything was chasing her anywhere. So it's just that Sandra was not to be my teacher. That's all. I realized that. That's it. Sandra was not to be my teacher. So that's what I thought I saw. And that's okay.
Yep. And that's how spirit will guide you and direct you.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That is so true. They're gonna point you in the right direction.
Right, where you need to go. And whatever your callings be is going to come to you. You will know it when it gets there, and it won't stop.
Yeah, that is.
See?
That is because I started, like, my whole journey was 2 years ago. I always felt like I had something. You know what I mean? Didn't know what it was or whatever. And then, long story short, met my teacher. I started the intuition, then the medium. Then through her, I met my Reiki master.
Nice.
And then from there on, it's just been a snowball effect. So I'm like, all right, I'm definitely a healer. I know that because I could just, it's just something you feel in your soul. You know what I mean?
It is.
And then I went into medical, into intuitive, and then where, here I am now. But it will definitely come to you in all different ways because, God just kept putting these people in my path that, I'm like, yes, you know what I'm saying? I didn't have to go searching. They would just come right to me. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Which is amazing.
They will. Yes.
Yeah, and definitely what I needed. So
what is the involvement in a shaman appointment?
So in a shamanic appointment, people, we talk first so I can get a feel for what is concerning them. And it's really interesting. Last Friday night, I had an appointment with a woman, and this is such a great message for all of us right now. And she told me that she had gone to a shaman in another city, and the shaman had told her that she saw her standing on a bridge, and she was really bothered by this because she felt like it was her about to jump. So she took it she was worried very negatively. So the minute she laid down on the table, I laughed out loud. Spirit was like, you human beings just kill me. You always go right to the negative, right to the negative. And when they said, seriously, the message was right, but it was her telling her to jump back into life, not jump off a bridge.
Exactly.
So, and then the next night, one of my students, same thing happens. He sends me a text, and he was at his camp in the Adirondacks. He sends me a text, when I can talk again, I need help. And I'm like, okay. Next text I get is a picture of a blue Solo cup. And then he says, the blue Solo cup flew off the shelf and hit me in the head. And I'm saging, I'm getting rid of this negative energy. So I said to him, did it ever occur to you it just hit you in the third eye? Oh my God, I get these capital letters back. They're trying to tell you to pay attention.
Yes.
So it's really important that we know that spirit does not come at us with negative stuff.
No, at all. Exactly.
Animals don't chase us to hurt us. Everything is there to help.
Yes.
So in a shamanic appointment, we'll talk about what's going on. And then from there, I just let spirit direct what's going to happen next. And they will tell me, sometimes they'll have me, like even beyond chakras, have me pull stuff out of somebody if they've got something in their body that's really causing them angst or even causing them to be sick, or I had a man who had diabetes, and he called me and said he went from having to take a lot of medication to very little. And I really believe it was more the stress level reduction than anything, but spirit had told me to pull all this stuff out. He was a non-believer and he felt it. Yeah. He sat up and he was like, what did you pull out of me?
Oh my God.
And he'd come to my office like this.
It's crazy. They were like, what did you do to me? I can literally feel you pulling it out of me.
Exactly what happened.
Pulling it like I felt my what was the girl said? It felt like you were pulling my guts out, but it didn't hurt. Like it didn't hurt, but you could feel like the tugs, And I always say, like, that's not me, that's them. I just go like this.
That's exactly the truth, though. We are just the conduits. Right.
Yep. I'm just the conduits. That's them. That's all that. That's their energy pulling that out. So you tell that, thank you. But,
so anything can happen in a shamanic appointment. One thing that's always involved would be the cleaning of the chakras and the putting light back into them and making sure that when someone walks out, they've got that rainbow body and they've got that lightness to them.
That's awesome. Okay. So then, now you had mentioned about one of your students, so you teach classes. Great.
I do teach classes. So I have a lot of certification programs. I teach the medicine wheel, which really the medicine wheel is about being in balance and different ways to read and heal your life. And there's spirit animal classes. I also offer, if someone were called to be a shaman, I've got an apprenticeship program. But there's all sorts of levels. There's introductory classes if you just want to dip your toe in the water and see what it's about. Medium level classes. So we go everywhere, all through the whole gambit.
That's awesome. Now,
what is the drum circle?
Oh yeah. So I do drum circles too. So we shamans. We're big on noise because for us, this is a rattle made from a deer horn. So we use our instruments a lot too in our healing ceremonies because this helps people relax and takes their mind off of everything and helps you really go into a meditative state. So in a drum circle, what we do is we have people bring their drums and we do a meditation to get everybody relaxed. And then we raise our drums and we create a lot of noise. It moves energy like it's magical. And it's nothing that I'm doing. It is just things start moving through that group. It's beautiful.
Yeah, so, it's insane. While I was doing my first class, it was I don't remember, one of those classes. My teacher brought in, oh, I can't think of her name right now. Zelda. You know Zelda?
Yes, I know Zelda very well.
I
Yes.
love her. So she
Yes,
came
she's
in
fantastic.
and she did a drum circle on like a journaling.
Yes.
It was so powerful. It brought me back to a place that I didn't even know I had to heal, and I came out, feeling way better. Did not even expect that. I'm like, oh, okay, that's what we're doing. But we did that, and you can just feel, you know what I mean? The drum, and it was just only her drum. So I can't even. I don't think I did. No, I haven't been to a whole drumming with more than one person. Yeah.
I only watched the one that Ripple Effect had.
Yeah,
online.
yeah.
I've been
Heidi and
watching that.
John from Ripple's Effects. They do drumming all the time. I love them too. But before they used to have drumming at their house, but I just haven't been yet. But hopefully soon when all these things get
I know,
better.
we're getting back to normal.
I know, exactly. Okay, so now how would somebody's life differ from someone else's who is not a shaman?
So really, here's the big difference is when you're working with a shaman, we do a lot of really going back to basics. Like we have you sit in nature. And one of the things that we do, like if I were having a bad day, I would sit on, we call the earth the Pachamama. So I would sit in the Pachamama and just let her pull the hucha, the heavy energy out of me. Because the Pachamama, just like the jaguar, can also take any energy and turn it, neutralize it so that it's no longer heavy. So we remind you really of how we're supposed to live our lives without all this stress, without all of the, really, we want to be in nature. It's where our hearts are the happiest.
Definitely. Hey everybody, we got some viewers. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. That's why we're doing this way. That is why I struggled to get this on the Facebook Live. Okay.
No, she didn't just struggle. She killed herself, and she said, "I'm doing this no matter what." And her and Google did it. She was determined. I'll be right back. I'm doing this.
I was like, can we just Google it?
Exactly. And
I know, right? It's a great idea.
Google normally comes to me just like that, but my mind was still like
everywhere.
Fried.
Like, oh my God, we're
from Zoom.
She was dialing a friend at first.
I know, exactly. But yes, so if you guys have questions, feel free to ask.
I want to share with you guys. So this is one of the things that a shaman works with. This is my mesa. Wow. So your mesa, so this is from the Andes. So this is a sacred cloth. And then this is a little wrap that the Incas make. And inside there's 3 stones for each of the 4 directions. And this is something too that I offer people to work with me and do. I will tell you that there is so much of my blood, sweat, tears, healing in this. And it's beautiful though, because we work through a lot of our shadow pieces, the things that we don't see that we need to heal. So I use my mesa in healing, but if someone comes to me and they want to take classes to make a mesa, it's a process. And it's a slower process because we work in the South, which really is the place of our reptilian brain, like where we just react and where we're in survival mode. And we work through all of those things that keep us in survival mode. And then we go to the West where we work more with the physical body. And shamans, we believe that we have the ability, this is probably gonna sound crazy, but we can grow a new body, like just by taking care of our body and really making it the temple and believing it's the temple that it is. So we work with the body and getting ourselves physically ready and releasing all of that junk that we carry around with us that makes us, if sometimes if you're having a bad day, you'll catch yourself with your shoulders clenched, your jaw clenched, and it's just so bad for our bodies. And then in the North, we work at the level of the mind we work with our ancestors, and we do a lot of ancestral healing in all that we do, so that we believe when you're healing yourself, you're healing your ancestors and your children's children. So it goes up and down the line. So you're doing huge work. And then in the East, we're working at the level of spirit, and we're having spirit teach us how to live our lives. And in the East, one of the big things we're working on is being able to be above our lives and look down on it so that we're not so caught up in all the things that happen, all the little things that get under our skin. You know, if somebody cuts you off in traffic, sometimes we're like, oh, and it affects us, right? I mean, all of us do
That's
that.
when you just got a whoosah.
Right? I'm telling you. So
Yeah.
you just have to, you know, we just have to really, you can't hang on to that stuff because that's the stuff that mucks up our chakras,
Mhm.
gets our jaws clenched. And
Exactly. But it's true. It's nothing crazy about what you said, because if you think about it, if you are able to release all of that, you are going to, number one, feel different. You're going to look different. Instead of being slouched like this, you're going to feel
right,
up. You're gonna,
right.
instead of having your head down like this, you're going to do that. And then
Have more
your body
energy.
is going to be different. You're going to have more energy, so you can shut off some of that pounds. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Your skin's going to
Exactly.
be looking beautiful, your hair.
Don't blow.
Yeah, you know,
I
you're
know,
going to
right?
have that glow. That essence. Exactly.
And then you're going to
So,
sleep better, and everything affects everything. You know,
Yeah.
it's just trying to get you through to that place of health. And it's all through really unlearning all of the crap Western society teaches us. Really.
seriously. Yeah, because they just throw a whole bunch of stuff down our throats and just left it there.
From
And
the
they
day you
forgot
go
the
to
whole
school,
other thing.
we try
Yeah.
to get people back to before school, before they got, you know, the society made them
Yeah,
into
where you have
something
your
that they weren't
imagination
prior
and
to
where
going.
You just let go.
and you just let go. Definitely. Okay. So now you were saying with the classes, what is a shamanic apprentice?
So a shamanic apprentice would be, you'd need to go through the medicine wheel classes because you want to make sure you have to be healed yourself. As shamans, you know, one of the things people will say to me is, I went through a really rough period about a year ago. And when that starts happening, I won't take appointments because the only thing that can come from that is I have risk putting my stuff on somebody else. I have to work through my own stuff and heal my own stuff before I work with a client. So a shamanic apprentice will work through the medicine wheel. They'll end up with a mesa, and they'll end up with, we're never going to be completely healed, but they'll have a lot of their big stuff healed through their mesa work. So an apprentice would be able to start a practice, and they would be certified and be able to work with clients and have a healing practice themselves.
Oh, that's awesome. So, what is the medicine wheel? Oh, is that, yeah, okay. I was just gonna say, yeah.
Another thing that we do a lot of is ceremony. So we do a lot of ceremonies with people. We do a lot of fire ceremonies. We do manifestation ceremonies. And if you were to become a shamanic apprentice, we do give people a lot of rites. So this is what's called the Chumpy Stone. And the Chumpy Stones are made from meteors. And every good shaman has a whole pack of these. So these used to give people rights. So an example of a right, try to make sense out of this, is we give people the right of Stone. We connect all of their chakras. We run lines of light around their back, and we connect the whole system. So what you can do with that is, now I can take remember, I'm all hooked up now. I got this big thing of light. I can put that over another client. I can put that over my house. I can put that over my child, and it pushes out my energy and protection around whoever else I send that to. So it's called the bands of power that we would instill in someone. So there's all kinds of, we do a lot of fire ceremonies where we do a lot of releasing. And it's interesting because I did a big fire ceremony, and I remember, this is horrible of me I'm trying not to judge people, but I walked out and there was this man in the front who was a preppy, and I'm thinking, oh dear, we talk about a fish out of water. I'm like, wow, you know, it's great that he's here, but I'm like, this poor guy, you know, it's just not for him. And the next night I ran into him, and he comes running up to me, and he's like, now I get to talk to you alone. And I'm thinking, oh gosh. And what he said was, what did you do to me last night? And I'm like, I didn't do anything to you at all. Why? He said the greatest thing to me. He was like, I walked out of here, and he goes, in all of the Western conditioning, he goes, men are not allowed to show their feelings. It was all gone. And I'm like, what? You just made my night. And then he said the magic words of, when are you doing it again? Because I want to come again. I'm like,
Yep.
all right. Awesome.
I love it when they say that.
Yes.
Because it's just like you just help them help heal themselves and understand more. Like, it's okay to feel this. It's okay to, go through this.
Step out of your comfort zone and try
Exactly.
something new without judgment, because you just don't know what's going to happen. So those are the big wins for me. Somebody who doesn't believe in any of it
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
is affected by it.
It's so cool when they
Another
their eyes open up like so big and they're like, like, did that just really happen? Yes, it did, honey. Yes, it did. Take it all in. Enjoy it. Isn't it great? Come back again.
Yes. Right. And then they start believing in energy medicine. So all of, it's good.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Another thing I do a lot of, and this is, so when we work in the West, one of the things that we do, and I remember going to school many, many, many years ago for this, and they said that we're going to work on removing negative energy. And I was like, not me. I mean, remember me being chased in the, I'm like, no. I'm like, all right, I'm going to go suck this up. Here's the famous last words, not to say to spirit. I'm going to go learn it, but I'm not doing it. Yeah, well, let me tell you. 3 weeks before I went, I got a call from a very good friend of mine who's a medium, and she says, I have a whole class that they have negative energy, like something went through them. And I'm like, I'm not trained yet. She's like, spirit told me it's you. I'm like, I can't, here I am, I'm going to learn, but I'm never going to do this. Yep, no, I ended up clearing that class. And then I came back from school, and that is all I did for the longest time, was removing negative energy from people. And a lot of it was removing negative energy from houses. So people will have something going on in their house, and it needs to be we put it in a crystal, a shaman will put it in a crystal, and we'll burn it off through the crystal. That's how we'll mutate it. But it's not a fun thing to work with, because that energy is really about scaring people. And I'll give you guys an example so you know what I'm talking about. I got called to a house, and she and her husband were sleeping in separate rooms, and every night while he was sleeping, he was getting kicked in the back. His hair was being pulled.
Oh my gosh.
So they said, is there anything you can do to help us? And we went into the room, and what this generally ends up being is, and I knew it right away, it was his father. But you don't want to tell somebody, oh, it's your father pulling your hair. And it's not that he's pulling his hair, he's trying to get his attention, because when people cross and they're not ready to cross, and they make a decision to stay, sometimes they get disruptive because they realize they should have gone and they just need a little help. So I didn't tell him that. I got his father out of him, removed him, sent him off to the light. And he called me the next day, and he said, last night's the first night that I've slept in forever. Because now, and his father's at peace. You know what I mean? That's all it is. It's getting people where they need to be.
Yep, definitely. Yep. And that's why I tell people, like, they're like, oh, well, aren't you scared about, doing that? Because, they always have the whole thing, oh, it's evil. Oh my gosh, you should never talk to people that passed away. And I'm like, no, it's not. Like, you're like, oh, you're going to get possessed and all this stuff. I'm like, no, I'm not. You know what I mean?
No, you're not. Yes.
Yeah. Like, no, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I was like, number one, I don't give my energy to that negative kind of things. And number two, I know I'm protected by my God, my daddy. You know what I'm saying? So
that's right. That's very right, though. Yes.
I got all the protection I need. He ain't gonna let nothing happen to me.
Which really, guys, brings up another thing that I think it's really important, is protecting our energy. So people who might not be trained as healers don't realize how important it is to make sure that, and it doesn't have to be any kind of elaborate ceremony. It is all just intention. So I just make sure that my energy is whole. I just make sure there's no holes, there's nothing going on with it. And just, especially if I'm walking into a situation that, there's potential for, just put it out there. My energy is protected. I'm protected, and that's it. That's all it takes, is just that intention.
Yeah, and that intention is powerful.
Huge.
People don't understand how powerful.
Huge. There's so much.
People understand how powerful intention is. Like, literally, that's what my I think she's watching. Hi, Tony, love you, my Reiki master. She's talking.
Wait a minute, is Tony Craft your Reiki master?
Yes, I love her. She's watching
Tony
us.
and I,
Hi.
Tony and I have been together forever, and my chumpy stones came from Reiki rocks. So if you need chumpy stones,
Shout out to
you might
Reiki
want to look up Tony.
That's my Reiki master. But yeah, and the one thing, one of the things is definitely she stressed was intention. It's all about your intention. If you
He's
come
100% right.
with a pure heart, pure, intention, you're gonna,
Yep.
you know what I'm saying, you're gonna receive all that from the Reiki, you know what I'm saying, from them to deliver it to them, all about intention.
Yes.
You really want to help these people. So when you put that intention about protecting your energy, love bug, okay?
That's right.
She needs some energy protection, okay?
Ha
That's why I
ha.
gave
She's got it.
that I got from Reiki Rocks.
I
Yep.
love it.
Yeah, so it's all about, because people will literally suck the living daylight out of you, you know what I mean? And they will drain all of your energy. We talk about that all the time. And you just got to protect your energy.
Right. You can't let them. And that's the same with negative energy. People always ask me too, are you scared of it? And I'm like, no, because my intention is that I'm protected from it. And I am. That's all, I'm just taking care of it for somebody.
Yep. And that's why I say, yeah, I know there's not so good things over there, but they could be confused. Like you just said, they could just be lost and need help. You know what I mean? And for the other stuff, I just don't give it energy. If I feel like it's trying to creep up on me, I'm like, look, go that way. Better go on. Go that way. Go to the light. Love you. Go be with God. Go be.
Okay, devil, not today.
So I be like, I don't even say that name. I'm like, go to the light, honey. Go be loved. Go to the light. And then I
That's
call,
right.
my guys, my angels, my lovies, come and get them.
That's right.
Another one.
That's right.
Come
Yes.
again.
Yes.
And then you feel the energy leave. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that's the good thing about it.
So another big things that shamans do, and it's funny because if people would really think about their own lives, with intention. So if you put out, and we do it without meaning to, if you put out, I want to run into Jess today. It's going to happen. I'm going to run into you. So
Exactly.
It's the way it works. I'm calling out to you. Shamans will get together, and we do it a lot when there is a big situation going on in the world. So there was a hurricane that was headed right for Florida, and it was supposed to be a direct hit, a category 4. We all got together and just set our intention, and we pulled the energy out of the hurricane. And by the time I got home, bam, hurricane went around Florida. So you can work with the elements too and ask them to help you, and they will. They will.
Yeah, they want to help us.
They do, absolutely.
It's like, hello guys, we're here to help. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just acknowledge us, just
and ask for
call upon us, just
how can we help? Right.
We're always here.
But some
It's
people
true.
don't know how to just call out either.
You just talk to them.
I know, but
that's
some
how I
people,
say it. People think you got to read a
things
certain
and,
phrase.
You guys are right. You are right. Yes.
You
They think it's a big deal.
You just be like, hey, I need your help, guides, angels, whoever. I don't know your names. Please help me.
Yeah, but
and
people think it's more.
People think you got to read a whole scripture
and a whole ritual.
But no, you don't.
It's funny, you guys, when I went to shaman school, how we are in Western, they'd be like, okay, so they'd get up and they'd demonstrate something and they'd be like, okay, break into groups and do it. We'd all be like, what? And they would give you the instructions at the end of the week, which was horrifying to all of us Westerners. We were like, they're like, we're not giving you the paper because we know what you're going to do. You're going to sit there, which we would, and go step by step with a client. And they're like, no, it doesn't work like that. And it's a great way. It is. It's the right way to learn, but darn, it's frustrating when you're a Westerner. It's frustrating.
Yeah. And it's just basically building your relationship with them. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Building that trust to know that they are there. They are helping you. They are with you always. So where can people find you, Mary? Classes and services. I'm going to type it in this chat and pin it.
Okay, so this is my moment of truth for my pathetic shamanism. I took my website down because I was going to redo it, and I have not redone it yet. So
that's okay. Can they find you on
I have an email, which is MP Shaman. Is MP? They're MP Shaman SHAMAN at yahoo.com. And then my cell phone number, if you want to text or call me, is 518-256-1800.
Okay. So let me pin that information here.
How long have you been a shaman?
About 12 years. Well, I don't know if there's 12 years. Tony and I started studying together. Tony Craft of Reiki Works, mediumship about 12 years ago. And then I think she became, I don't remember if we became Reiki masters together. I think we did. And I think in between our mediumship study and becoming Reiki masters, I went to shaman school. So about 12 years.
That is so cool.
That's so cool.
So quick question, okay? I'm gonna put you on the spot here, babe.
Oh, wait, I'm sweating.
I gotta tell you on top of the table. Let's go. Because when I shared the thing earlier, a lot of people were commenting like, "Oh my gosh, Mary, didn't know that about you. I didn't know."
Oh, the whole thing.
Yeah, you seen that?
Yeah,
So
it was a lot.
of
Okay,
people
so
don't
here's
know.
the moment of truth. Jess outed me, which, you know what? I laughed. No, it's okay. I laughed. No, you know, everything is with divine. You know it, and
Yeah,
I know it. So
yeah.
I laughed because I knew this was spirit saying, okay, enough of the underground shamanism, sister, you're out. So no,
Exactly.
that
You gotta
was
bring it out for everybody, babe.
right. Those people really had no idea. And they would walk up to me for years and say, you've got great energy. And I'd be like, if only they knew. You know what I
I
mean?
wonder why. What's
Now
your
they do.
secret? Ha ha ha.
Yep.
I'm sorry for outing you, babe.
Oh no, it's
But like
all
you
right.
said,
It's okay. I used to have a job and the owner of my company didn't believe in any of this. I mean, it was bad. And so I just didn't want it to interfere with that.
yeah.
So that's why I took the website down, because I was at work one day and a guy came and he sat next to me and he's like, so I was trying to find your number on Google and well, I found something. And I was like, whoa. And I went and took the website down because I was
No,
worried it was
see?
going to affect that.
You always gotta live your truth, honey.
Yep.
All right.
Look at her with that. Look at that attitude in your pencil.
Look, she got yeah, right.
Cause I'll be damned if somebody come tell me, look what I found. Good. I'm glad you found it. You want me to take a picture of it? You want me to send you the link? Because
Right.
that's who I am and I'm proud of what I do. Amen.
That's right. That's
You
right.
know,
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
why
They-
Spirit made me put all that and throw it out there.
They
Because
want you to
normally,
stand for what you are.
yeah.
Take that
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys, it's tough though. Let me just, I mean, the moment of truth, like I'm a shaman, right? Which people, many years ago, the very first office I had, the woman I rented from called me up laughing hysterically because it was a big real estate owner in Clifton Park. He walked in, looked at her door, which I put Mary Payton Shaman, which my entire shaman class thought was hysterical that I would say shaman because it scares people. He said to her, oh my God, you got a shaman in here? So, and she's like, he's all scared. I'm like, let me go negotiate your rent for you. I mean, that just is what brings it up with people is they're like, they think we're in the back room doing voodoo and we're going to put spells on them. And
Well,
it's the
that,
total
and that's
opposite.
why it's so important for people to see us, like everyday people, doing what we do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because if you would have asked me 2 years ago, if I would have thought I would have been a medium and doing all this stuff, I'd have been like, no, like I believe because you know what I mean? But I never thought that I would be able to do something like that. But it shows them that everyday people have these gifts. We all
Yes.
have these gifts. It's just whether or not we choose to do anything with it. You know what I mean? And
Right.
we don't have to have the whole wolf head or sheepskin for shaman, or I don't need to have, a round crystal ball, you know what I mean? Even though I have one in there, but don't worry about it. But you got to get rid of those stereotypes, you know what I'm saying? And really take it for what it is, which is healing and love, you know what I'm saying? And helping people, you know what I'm saying? And it's all given to us by, you know what I'm saying, our loved ones and our God and, whatever universe, whatever they call them, whatever anybody want to call, and it's free from that to give to us, you know what I'm saying? And we just want to give to
People
others.
gotta stop being afraid of the unknown.
Exactly.
And that's
Yeah.
what we sometimes they don't know what it is. They don't understand it. So then they rather be afraid of it than
You're right. That's exactly, they go to the bad place. Like my daughter came home from school one day and she's like, Mommy, somebody told me you're a witch. And I'm like, wait, what? But that's how it goes. It's just,
Exactly. And they think, like you said, like which they correlate which with bad. Like, no, you know,
Right,
witches are
exactly.
not
right.
bad. You know, like just like what you have good people, you have bad people. You have good healers and you got people that
Does other stuff.
do curses and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And even though I don't believe in curses, but some people do, you know what I'm saying? And whatever. But like I don't give none of that energy. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it's just like they need to see how genuine it is. You know what I'm saying? And how real and how good it is for your soul. You know what I'm saying? That's why
Yes.
I love like doing this with people because it's like just people to genuinely see the goodness from another person trying to help
And healing.
someone else.
Right, exactly right. Right,
You know?
yes.
And
Yep.
and if they can't take that for what it is, then they can keep on walking, go that way. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Goodbye.
That's
And
exactly
it'll come back knocking on their door when they're ready for it. But
Well, I'll tell you guys a great story that you'll appreciate. So I have a daughter she's 12 now. She was probably 10 and we're waiting for the bus. And she's like, we're standing outside and she's like, Mommy, wait a minute. Reaches into her coat, pulls out a pendulum. I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, well, I have to answer a question for myself. And I'm like, if you take that in school, oh my God, what's going to happen? Woohoo.
exactly. I know. My daughter cracks me up. My daughter is 23, right? And she knows what I do and she don't do nothing, but she won't let me do anything with her. I'd be like, Kiki, it's always hard for me to do you anyway because you're my daughter and I'm connected and you know what I mean? And attack whatever the things are. But so she won't let me. I think I tried. She let me practice Reiki on her in the very beginning.
Oh, that's good.
But other than that, so she's not like she's open to it, but she's not like pulling out pendulums
Yeah.
out of her, bra strap. You know what I mean? But it's funny because I think she's gonna be getting there soon because I feel like
Excellent.
her awakening is starting to happen, quicker than mine did, but it is what it is. And my son, he's with it all the time. He's like, Mom, I bet you we say something. He's like, 32, he'll guess a number and he'll be right. I'm like, that's that ESP, baby.
Oh, that's
He's
awesome.
more with it, but yeah, Kiki's a little more kind of standoffish, but I feel like she's gonna come around
Oh,
sooner
that's
than
great.
later.
That is great.
Definitely. Okay, so people can find you at MP Shaman at Yahoo,
Yep.
and you have a phone number 518-256-1800. Now you do you take appointments, right?
I
And
do.
you also do classes.
I do classes. Yep. And I will do
Do you
healing
have a class
ceremonies
coming
for
up
people.
anytime soon?
I don't generally do them in the summer because this year maybe it's not going to be as busy, but I usually stop them in the spring and pick them back up in the fall again when people are looking for stuff.
Okay,
So I will have some out there for the fall.
Okay, yeah, because I would love to take one because I started looking into it online a little bit and I was feeling drawn to it. A girlfriend of mine, Elise, she was like, you're doing something with shaman because when I did the medical intuitive, right, I felt and I still feel drawn to doing what they call it, psychic surgery.
Oh yeah.
It's
Yep.
crazy. But and it's like you go in there, because I caught myself doing it while I was doing the Reiki, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm just gonna go with it. And I was just
Yeah.
like, taking stuff out of there, like a surgery, cut it open, take it out, fill it up, and everything. And I'm like, that's crazy. But then there's what does shaman call it though? Shamans have a name for that. I can't think of a name for it.
This like a psychic surgery.
Yeah.
We really I've done it, but I don't know of a name for it. And you have to remember you might be thinking of like a Native American. So there's a lot of different, there might be a Native American name for it that I'm not aware of.
Okay. Yeah, I can't, cannot remember the name of it. It's something, but anyway, so I definitely want to look into it. And plus I'm all about, learning more stuff and incorporating it all and doing what I can do with it.
That's great.
Make it my own. You know what I mean?
Make it your own. Right. Yes.
Definitely.
Because I use my Reiki, whatever you're called to use when you're doing a healing You do.
That I kind of use it all together. All
Absolutely.
together now. Okay. So do you have a Facebook page? Maybe you can do like a Facebook page in the meantime.
Yes, I could.
Okay. Let's
Wait,
get
wait,
that
wait, wait,
started
here
now.
it is, you guys. Now that I've been outed, yes, I can.
Exactly. Exactly.
You
You
did it
can
for
do
me,
it
Jack.
all now, honey. Welcome to the free world.
I
Amen.
know, right? Exactly.
Here's your
All
coming out
right.
party.
Hercules,
I'm
Hercules.
coming.
I love it. Yes.
I'm so happy
Oh
for you. I'm
my.
so happy that you joined us today, Mary. Maybe one day, when things get better and you can come in person,
Oh, I'd
and-
love to.
My animal.
you know what I mean? And maybe
Yes, I
protect
would
her
love to.
energy.
Yes.
I always send her Reiki anyway, but that would
Does
be
anybody,
amazing.
does anybody have any questions, Jess? Did anybody out there ask
I
questions?
didn't see any yet.
Okay, I just don't want to not answer the
But
question.
Tony did say hi. We got people just saying hi to us.
Excellent,
No
good.
questions yet.
No questions on shamanism. I know you guys got them.
Exactly. Let's see.
I said no. He answered pretty much everything.
I know.
Yeah, maybe that's it. You're right. Yes.
Let me see. So, got your classes. We got your
I do
appointments. Can
circles.
appointments be
Yep.
in person? Can they be in Zoom, over the phone?
They could be either. I prefer in person, but if somebody's not comfortable, certainly we can do them on Zoom. Absolutely. Yep.
Okay.
I've done circles on Zoom. I've done, I do a lot of circles in person. Just, yeah, it can be done either way, any of it.
Okay, awesome. So that's good to know.
People are
'Cause people might
comfortable
be
with.
scared to come in person now because, you know
Oh,
what I mean?
yes, I know.
Definitely. Let's see. I don't know. Yeah,
Oh, you're doing that way.
questions, babe, that
I gotta show Tony Craft. This is for you. I found a woman. I have to tell Tony. I found a woman who paints on feathers, and I thought maybe you might like to carry something like this. Different spirit animals she does.
Where is she at? I need her in my life.
She's in another part of the state, but I'm gonna see if Tony wants to carry her stuff because she will do some animals. She will do spirit animals. She's
Good.
out
Yeah,
in
definitely
Central New York.
definitely reach out to Tony because I would love to pick up a couple of my spirit animals. That was beautiful that you just
Isn't that
showed us.
great? And look at, she did these little feathers over here.
No, it's not
What?
Corona. Just had a little.
No.
Oh
Yeah,
my
come on.
gosh.
Sorry, hold on.
I got a
You
little
off it.
slime in my
Little
throat.
white sauce.
Look, when, there's right over there.
I see.
Look. It's
Oh
just a
my.
little phlegm. If it's phlegm, it's not Corona. I'm good. If it's a dry cough, then that's a problem. Okay.
Oh my.
So she wants to know.
How do you know what your spirit animal is? How do you find out?
So you can, what I teach people with spirit animals is if you are seeing an animal a lot, let me see if I can find it. So this came from Reiki Rocks too. This is a rattle. But if you're seeing an animal a lot or hearing an animal a lot, or thinking about an animal a lot, so it doesn't necessarily have to be an animal that's native to our area, it's probably calling you to work with it. So the best thing to do is what Jess did and look it up on Google and see if it resonates with you. And then from there, I would try to create a relationship with the animal. Like, how can we work together? What, and call on it when you need help. See and look up the attributes of the animal, which Google may not tell you in a shamanic or in, mediumistic reading of what this animal means, because the animal may be calling you to, like the jaguar, to know that you are the king of wherever you are. Know that, whatever, all the cat-like features that a jaguar holds, or a lion like Jess got. So it's asking you to take on that. Forget your fear, like just walk out and do it anyway. So you want to look into it from all aspects and you want to build a relationship with it. Anything that's calling you. And if it's a deer, it's a deer. They're so gentle. And don't judge, because a lot of times I was in a circle one time and I got a cow for this woman and I thought, oh God, she's probably going to be like, what in the world? Because for us, cows are not, they're not not what you think of when you think of a cuddly
Like-
animal, but it fit her perfectly. And what the cow had to say was what she needed. So it's always, don't judge, just know that the animal's there to help you.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that's you bringing cows. Cows came to me too on my dream. I remember them coming to me. There were white cows with the things. I had a whole deers came. I had horses. They all come to me in my dreams though. But the only one that I see a lot, obviously is my hawk. You know what I mean? Because I started
That's great.
seeing him like everywhere. And now I just see him bing, I just bing, bing. I'm like, oh, there's a hawk around somewhere. And I'm like, oh, there he goes. And then like my dolphins, just because I'm so drawn to them. You know what I mean? It's just insane. It's like, I don't know if I was a dolphin in my past life or something, but
Or a mermaid.
yep, I'm a mermaid. That would make sense. And because I love the water, that is the whole fact.
Yep.
Definitely. But yeah, they just kind of like what you're drawn to. You know what I'm saying? If you
It
find
is what you're drawn to. Or what
Yeah.
comes to you in your dreams. That's another way to tell, you know, your spirit animal's trying to work with you.
Yeah, definitely. But it's cool because it just blows my mind every time. I literally Google it and look it up and I read it and I'm like, wow, that's so crazy. You know what I mean? Like that's exactly what I'm going through, or you know, or they tell me something and then something happens and then I'm like, oh, that's what it was that, you know what I mean, they were trying to explain to me or show me, you know, whatever. But yeah, spirit animals are so freaking cool.
So a lot of shamanism is just paying attention, which we're not good at in Western society. So make sure if you're watching a TV program and you keep seeing the same animal, that's your spirit animal. You know, it's things that we don't normally think of, but we keep seeing the same thing, and you got to start saying, oh my gosh, what's that about? And the other thing I really like to teach people, especially after what we went through with COVID, is to connect with nature. So the best way to do that is either go outside and sit as quietly as you can. Sometimes it's hard for us because our minds are always going, or walk in nature and bring a journal with you and just, you know, see, as things are happening or when you're done, if you're going for a walk, just write down what happens and you're going to start seeing patterns form. And you'll start seeing what animal or what in nature is calling you, what messages are being sent to you. And it'll really it'll help you kickstart that part of what you already have of watching and really picking up on those messages. And you'll get to a point pretty quickly where you don't have to write it down anymore because it's just second nature. So it's creating a new habit.
That is so true, because that's what started happening with me when I started my whole thing. It's like I started learning about it, and then I started looking into it, and then it's just like this. I'm horrible at words. Let me try to get this. Think.
Wait, what are you saying,
Nope.
Jess?
Syncness. I could spell it though. SYNCRO.
Synchronicity. Synchronicity.
Yeah. Yes. I can't see. I know that. I started noticing all that. Okay. I can spell it though.
Yeah.
You will, because you're paying attention. So that's what a lot of shamanism is about, is just teaching us to just be and stop trying to get ahead of ourselves. Because Western society, we think of, what am I going to do tomorrow? We got to think, what's going on right now? Because we'll never be successful tomorrow if we're always living over there. We're going to miss this.
Yep.
And there's a lot of
It's
beauty.
so important to be in a moment. Yep. Because tomorrow's not guaranteed, and we keep seeing that every day.
Right.
You know. So
I think COVID broke a lot of us up, where we were like, wait a minute, what? Even, you know, you want to watch too, like one of the things that happened to me during COVID that made me laugh out loud was I started walking in the morning, and I live on the river, on the Mohawk River, and the ducks would come, and you know, when they land on water, they go shh.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm watching the ducks thinking, that is me pulling into my driveway every night. Like, you know, stop the car, get out, run to the next thing. And I'm like, that's what I mean by messages. I'm like, that duck is trying to tell me that's not working, because I'm just like,
Exactly.
So it really taught me to stop, slow down. If it's important to me, I'll do it. If it's not, I can't do it anymore. So I cannot live like that.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny? I have not seen a duck land like that since. I have not, and I'm watching them. I'm like, why aren't they doing that anymore?
Yep, because you done slow
It's
down.
really
You
funny.
received the message. That's what it
right.
was.
That's
You received
exactly
it
right.
and you applied it, so they
Right.
don't have to do it anymore.
That's right.
Definitely. Okay, so do you have anything coming up in the future? Anything that you would like to announce? Any?
I have a message circle. Hold on a minute. I gotta look up the date.
Let's go.
I'll get there. Oh, Tony said
okey-dokey.
yes to the feathers. So there we go with that. Okay, I have a message
Awesome.
circle. It is Saturday night. If I didn't put it in here, I'm gonna cry. I didn't put it in here yet. I think it's Saturday night, the 27th. And this one is going to be at Spirit Tree in Latham on Route 9.
Oh, cool. I've never been there. I gotta go there. I've heard about it. Okay, and is it June 27th?
I think it's Saturday, June 27th. It's on I should really look on the Spirit Tree website. Yes, and so it's going to be in person because we were counting on Governor Cuomo letting us have large gatherings, and he just said 25. So we should be good for that.
Awesome. Cool.
Yeah, because I did some in Zoom during the pandemic, but all right, I'm looking up Spirit Tree.
And at what time I might go to that, honey, with my mask on. Mask on.
Like,
I would need my whole mask on.
oh my gosh. So it's 7 to 9.
7 to 9. Okay, cool. All right, yeah, I probably see if I go check that out. I never been to Spirit Tree, so that at least when I go, I'm gonna know a face.
Yeah.
That's right. You are gonna know
I
a
don't
face.
have to be shy as much.
And the message circles are really, really cool because what happens is the Spirit will pass messages that really apply to everybody. So even though the message may not be given to you, it's going to resonate with you. So you end up getting a lot out of a circle, much more than just your message, which is cool.
Yeah. I've been to Spirit Circles and that's right, they're closing. Ventured Inward. Have you ever heard of them?
No, yes.
I know, so sad that
There's so many places closing after what
Margaret,
happened with COVID. It's awful.
I know. I don't know if they closed. I could check to see if I would like to go there one more time before, but they might have closed already. But that's where I went. It was amazing, and that's when I was blown away because I didn't think I was gonna be getting anything. Like just went in there like my first time circle, don't know what I'm doing, whatever. I think I actually brought a couple friends with me, like let's just go. And then I started hearing, I'm like, I'm hearing like names, you know what I'm saying? Like, but thought they're like, well, if anybody gets anything, and they said, I'm like, okay, I hear this name. They're like, oh, that's my grandfather. And I'm like,
wow.
They're like, well, are you getting anything? I'm like, no, sorry. Like,
Just names.
I just got names. Like, I'm sorry.
Listen.
But now it's like, okay, I get it. But I was like, oh my gosh, I couldn't believe I just heard names. Like, that's crazy. Like, never thought that would ever happen to me, but it was cool. That was my experience.
Good.
Definitely. Okay, so I know we're gotta get wrapping up. It's 6 o'clock. So once again, you guys could email Mary at mpshaman@yahoo.com, or you can call her 518-256-1800. And she has a message circle, hopefully coming up on June 27th at Spirit Tree. That's in Latham.
It's in Latham, yes, right next to the Century House.
Okay, 7 to 9. You can always go to their website, check out, see what they have going on also. And we want to thank you, Mary, for coming. Thank you for being very patient while we figure out the whole Zoom thing. But we got it. We ain't got to worry.
I'm so impressed. Yes. So thank you for having me. Thank you for your determination, Jess. You were like, I'm getting this. Come back in 20 minutes because I'm getting this. I know, right? It was awesome to see. And thank you to all your listeners too. I appreciate you coming.
We did it. Thank you so much, love. Real quick, what do you have? Not real quick, baby. You can take your time, whatever you want. Tell them what you're doing. You writing your new?
I'm writing my second book now. In the midst of that, that's pretty much all.
That takes enough time. That's a lot right there to write a whole book.
Well,
honey.
and I'm actually about to do a film project for the Domestic Violence Awareness Month in October. So I'm working on that as well.
And Ripples of Facts. You got the whole. Come on,
yeah.
girl. I know you got some things going on.
I'm gonna be doing a Zoom for it's a grounding retreat on July 11th. So you can always go on my page or Ripple Effect page and sign up for it. It's $25 on June 11th from 10 to 1. And
Okay,
there's 3 of us.
yeah. And you guys remember Heidi from Ripple Effect? She was here showing us her drumming. And,
the lady
um,
Barbara.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I don't know if I met her though, but what else? Okay. So
Hey,
we are
can I
gonna
ask
be
you a
doing a
question?
raffle. Yes, babe.
What is your book on? Tell us about your book.
Oh, my book is called The Mask Behind the Mask. I wrote it. It's a book of poetry and spoken word that I put
Oh,
together for
nice.
people to love all the imperfections in spite of what they deal with on a day-to-day basis. Pretty much the effect of the book came from me going through domestic violence. So I took what I was going through to take it to heal other people of what they going through.
Oh my God, that's great.
Thank you.
That's
Yep.
great.
It's beautiful.
It's been out a year.
Yeah,
that's
amen.
fantastic.
Celebration.
And I'm
she
sure
does
it's helped a lot of
motivational
people.
Speaking.
I
Yes,
do
yeah.
motivational speaking, seminars, workshop, and mentorship.
Yes. Amazing. Good work, good work. That's why I love you, baby. Okay. Let me see. So we are going to be having a raffle. We're going to figure out the details, you guys, to have another guest host, like maybe once or twice a month.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Come on with us because Josie's preoccupied and Doc is traveling the world and Dee Dee fell off the world.
Uh-oh.
So God, Dee Dee, shout us out. We don't know where you are, baby. I'm sure you're good. God bless you, baby. So we're gonna be looking for just a random co-host, guest host, co-host,
Drop-in host.
yeah, drop in and drop out host. just to come bring us, a mix of flavor and opinions and energy, good energy.
Yes, no bad.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, but just to bring in some love and light and everything right. So besides that, you guys can always follow us, of course. Stay tuned. We're gonna probably come in. We got people coming in. I gotta work out the other things, but we have Leslie, we have Gemma. I gotta work her in the schedule. So stay tuned. We're gonna have a lot more guests coming and joining us. If you want to be on our show, it is free for everyone. Like we said, we don't judge nobody. We ask you to just come, positive, uplifting energy to come promote your business, your talents, if you want to just come and be a speaker, whatever, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? Because we need to get all this love and light out there.
Yeah.
And sharing is caring. So message us if you would like to be on our show. And so then stay tuned. You guys can check out everything I have going on at Blessings. Body sculpting. August, we got a show that we're going to be on their show. So that's going to be fun in August. And we got body sculpting back on deck, guys. Book your bodies here, readings, and all that other stuff. Love you, love you, love you. Thank you. Mary, I'm going to see if you can hold on. If I hang up on you, I'm sorry.
Okay. Thank you, everybody.
I'm going to try to end this live without ending you, okay? Okay, babe. Let's see how we can do this. Thank you guys for tuning in. Stay safe and God bless always. And I think.
Uh-oh. I think it's you and me. I think she cut off them and left us together, which is cool. Thank you for coming. I very much appreciate it. And if you have any questions, just reach out to me. Happy to answer them. Poor Jess, she's trying so hard. All right, that's what I'm gonna do. Have a great weekend. Stay hydrated, really important. Thank you very much for coming.